it kind of helped them advance. I mean, do you think this was a conspiracy?
Gotta go with Jacob Butter. Gotta go lefty.
No, we're talking about the players. That's tournament champions into the podcast.
There he is, right there.
Oh, he doesn't even know how to watch. Go to youtube.com and search Down Lane Podcast. What's up, bowlers? Welcome to Down Lane Podcast. We are streaming live from the lab at Town and Country Lanes. Hopefully you can hear me this week because Austin is once again not with us. He is working for actual money. So let us know if you can hear us because I screw this up basically every single time I do this.
Yeah, we'll learn eventually. Text message already, not from somebody telling us we aren't on. Yeah, I mean, I'll text Joey. I'm just making you got the little microphone off here and the microphone on there.
It's all good. It's all good. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell to get alerts from the channel. We are live from the lab at Town and Country Lanes. I don't know if I said this before, but I'm your host, Kyle Haines. With me is Anthony Scaccia, assistant to the host. How you doing tonight?
Doing great today.
That is the exact sound we needed.
What was it?
It was the sad clown sound.
I knew that one of these four was clapping. I just wasn't sure which one it was. So
nice. All right. So if you can't watch us live on YouTube or Facebook, you can always download or listen via your favorite podcast service. And you can always email us at downlanepod@gmail.com. Tonight, we are going to be talking about...
It's tournament time.
Tournament season is upon us.
It really is.
It's already been in swing, but...
Not really full swing. I mean, we have a full swing of schedules coming up. So I figured, Kyle said to me, what are we going to talk about today? I said, Kyle, I'm really thinking, while you're on my roof right now, that we should talk about tournament season because it is kind of on the time. It is the time for all that. We are running our Baker's Doubles, but we are jam-packed for the next few weeks.
Yeah, we got Baker's Doubles. We got Tournament Club. We've got Bud Bowl. Some guys are going to the Brockmire in Newark.
We've got doubles. We've got the Masters. We've got the
Super
regional. We've got the Masters. Well, I've got the Masters. Then we've got maybe the Albany Masters, and then we've got probably coming up the TPT, the first round of that. So
that's right.
We are fired up for probably the next 4 months. Of primetime bowling. So what better way to bring it in than the new year with this? Huh? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. Before we do talk about that, I want to talk about the report that Chad Murphy sent out this week, the State of the USBC, his version of the State of the Union.
Is that what it is? Is that what you call it?
Yeah. There was a couple of points that I thought were important to bring up. Number one.
I'm glad you remember these off the top of your head.
Yeah. Are you bringing it up?
Yeah, of course I am, because I want to make sure that,
You're good.
Is our internet that bad tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, we look clear now. It just rebuffed. I'm looking good. My good side's looking better. All right. Go ahead.
So anyway, the first one that I wanted to bring up was membership. Last year there was like 1,900,000 and something thousand.
1,093,909.
And then this year dropped down about 900 members.
1,093,000. Didn't drop down 1 million members. It dropped down.
I said 900 members.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I wasn't listening. So yeah, I mean, they feel like there's he feels overall we feel great about the state of league bowling. So that's great to hear that they went down 900,000.
Nope, just 900 people.
Oh, just 900 people.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with all the people who die in craps, that ain't bad.
That's called attrition.
Whatever they call that. That's not bad. So we're seeing an influx. I mean, this is a more of a steady flow here. Which isn't a bad thing. I think that's a good thing. I think that more people will get in leagues. I think it's just a little bit tricky sometimes because I think the younger generation isn't really about it.
Yeah. Although we do have a lot of young guys that bowl here.
We have a good, but I think it's a little bit different. We're not a bolero. I feel like I don't know how bolero does, but with us being here every day and we like to bowl, we bring people that we get like customers that become friends. Like, hey man, why are you not bowling? You know what I mean? So
it used to be in the old days. It was like, I'm in a bowling league. You're in a bowling league. This guy's in a bowling league.
Yeah.
Everybody was in a bowling league.
Why don't you just jump in the league with us and we bowl Monday nights? We'll have a few, and I think it is, we're doing all right, I think. I mean, we got a lot of leagues going on. A lot of people like to bowl, a lot of youth, a lot of, as Kyle would hate, two-handers. But we do have some two-handers in there. Overall, I guess 900 people ain't bad.
It would be nice if it went up, but right, it's almost negligible. 900 people,
yeah,
out of a million.
I mean, that's not bad.
In the YouTube chat, what's up, Chloe? What's up, Nick? Anybody that's watching on Facebook or YouTube, why don't you give us what you guys are doing to prepare for tournaments coming up? We're going to get to that in a minute, but are you drilling bowling balls? Are you practicing? Are you just bowling league? Are you bowling more tournaments? Bowling more stuff in general? Give us an idea what you guys are doing.
Are you not doing any of that?
Or nothing at all.
Just show and go.
Now, the other thing that I wanted to mention was the Open Championships participation last year. Last year, where we had, I think, 9,000 teams in Reno. Is that right?
This year?
Last year. Or 2 years ago in Reno, there was 9,000 teams.
That's 23, right?
Yeah.
That would be 9,565 teams.
And then last year
which
in Vegas,
which was up from the prior years.
And last year in Vegas went up to 11,000.
Yeah, it went to 11,000 teams. 2021 was 7,609.
Wow.
And then they went to 9,000. John Country Lanes, how may I help you? And then they went to 9,500. So they were kind of like they were going up a little bit. It steadied off, and boom, we just hit the 11,000 number. That's a great number. And I think Kyle said before, we were chatting today before the show, and Baton Rouge is already set with 11,000 at this before we've talked about this. So it's a possibility we might get 12. I mean, 12,000 times 5 is 60,000 members.
There's plenty of people that
and I thought that's why this was an important topic.
Yeah.
Because we're going up in the tournament world or in that national level.
Right.
Wonder if it's because of the rule changes, but we'll get there. And league bowling stayed stagnant.
Right, plateaued.
At this point
for a year. Mm-hmm. But it seems like the interest of that tournament or big stage, if you will, has gone up. If I know it's Vegas, but the fact that it's already at 11,000 in Baton Rouge is
fantastic.
A good thing, because there's going to be a lot of people that sign up late.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, the people that have pre-registered probably aren't backing out a lot. It costs money to back out. So, it could only mean that it's going to be even higher for 2025.
Of course. It is. It's a good thing. Yeah, bowling, Joey D. Bowling is alive. I think bowling is always alive. I think I talked to my uncle about this before he went to his first junior gold with little Michael.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't think you really realize, because he was at his, he was doing his center thing. He doesn't really travel too much. We went to the nationals every once in a while, but I don't know if he pays attention to the numbers or how things happen. I'm like, hey, when you go out there, it's going to be like pretty different. He's like, oh yeah. And he didn't really think about it. And then he came back. He's like, dude, you were right. I had no idea. These people are taking a week off of work.
Adults work.
These kids are.
The kids aren't in school, right? It's summertime.
But their kids are competing 7 days in bowling, and they come from all over the country to bowl.
Over 3,000 entrants in that tournament.
And you're telling me, that bowling isn't alive. I mean, maybe those kids don't bowl in as many leagues anymore because they're traveling more. I think there's a little bit more for the kids to do. So maybe the junior programs are suffering here and there because, like, we have a kid who's excellent player, but does not bowl in the youth program.
Right.
He
likes to bowl in the tournaments, which I totally understand.
Well, yeah,
way more competitive. If you are looking to be a good bowler, it's way better for him. And I'm not saying it's the right thing, because we obviously want kids in the junior program.
Yeah.
But it's way better for your game and your growth as a bowler to be bowling on difficult stuff in the pressure tournament.
Yeah, I think the other thing too is you look at the junior program here, and it's a lot of younger kids who are developing still. Mm-hmm. So for him to be at the high of his game right now, when he's leaps and bounds ahead of some of the kids in that program, it might not interest him.
Right.
He's looking to challenge himself.
Right, which is a good thing. But I also think
I think that's good for the kids.
Being part of the league world is also important.
Is that why you bowl league, Kyle?
No. I bowl league because if I didn't, I'm pretty sure I would be in trouble.
Okay, Kyle.
Am I right or wrong?
I mean, I feel the same way.
Except that you bowl 3.
Yeah, I don't mind. Jackie Moon. He doesn't bowl in a league. He's a good player coach. One of the best I ever played for.
That's Matt Fazzone. Jackie Moon is a nickname for one of our locals here. Yep. Doesn't bowl league, and Anthony loves the player coach.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Definitely one of the greatest player coaches I've ever had.
Well, technically in baseball, all coaches are on the roster, aren't they? Isn't that why they wear uniforms?
Well, in college, I'm pretty sure my
Not
coach
allowed.
was not allowed to play.
Maybe it was his 4th year.
Yeah, his 40th. Yeah, I think that it is important to be in a league aspect. I think it's good, but I think it's also tough because if you do travel, those tournaments are on Saturday. Not to get off topic here, but
right.
it's turning. If you're gonna bowl 10 to 12 to 15 weeks out of the year. I mean, if you're bowling 25 to 30 in junior program, you're only doing half the league. Why are you going to take the other half? I mean,
right.
It's almost counterintuitive for you at that point.
Counterproductive.
Yeah, whatever the heck I said. That's just how I'm feeling about it. But tournaments for the kids is increased. So it's interesting to see that the Open Championships, let's wrap this up, back together. Stagnant, plateaued right now at the league level, but the Open Championships is up.
Booming.
2,000 teams last year, and they had that many teams going into Baton Rouge this year. What about, not to go even further off topic, but it still is tournament time. Do you think that Baton Rouge drew more players because it is in a different region, a different area, a different, Florida can drive, all these middle states can the lower middle states can drive. Even
up northeast, your dad's driving. We have
a bunch of guys who want to drive. Yeah, so it completely changes it. Hopefully the USBC does take a look. I mean, I know we're getting South Carolina in a few years, but hopefully we take a look at more maybe neutral spots. I don't mind bowling in a cornfield as long as there's walls and some heats, all right, or some AC because we go later in the year. But other than that, I mean, we can bowl wherever. Just going to the West Coast every year, I think, does drive the participation numbers down after a while. And I think that when the people saw they were coming back in, they wanted to get their spots.
Well, a couple of things to that point. So, one, I think going to a destination, if you will, drives more people. But Baton Rouge, I don't know how much is a quote unquote destination, but I do believe even locally here, we had a ton of interest. Everyone wanted to go to Baton Rouge. So maybe that has something to do with the participation or the number of teams that are already in this year.
Yeah, Louisiana's different.
Right. 100% has been down that way in a long, long time.
100% humidity. Can't wait.
Even I think Greenville has gotten attention for 2028. Is that
how can I get attention? You can't do anything about it.
I just mean, no, they're excited. There's excitement is what I mean. For going to South Carolina.
Yeah, I can't wait.
In 2028. I'm just saying there has been excitement.
I've driven through there. My college was down there. Man, I'm going to be living the glory
days. That's right. You can go back to your dorm or whatever you were living in down there. But yes, going to some different places is nice. Reno, they've already said, in that report, he was saying we're looking at ways to get people to want to go. I'm paraphrasing, but you could tell, he knows that there has to be a response that people hate going there. Maybe a little bit because of the bowling, because of the lane surfaces, but that is what it is.
That's you. I mean,
I'm just saying that could be one aspect of it. I know a lot of people complain about the lane surface. Number two is what's to do. What's to do in the city. I
understand
the casinos, you have the baseball team, you have some restaurants over the river.
Got scooters.
And then if you want to take an hour drive, you can go to Lake Tahoe or some other places. But it is tough. It's no Vegas, you know what I mean, where you've got tons of stuff going on around you.
Yeah.
And they go every other year. They love going.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind Reno. I thought it was a okay place. I mean, flying in was the tricky part. But if you look at it, I mean, Baton Rouge, we're flying another different place. We're flying with Delta on this way out. It was actually, I was helping somebody do some flights yesterday. Not my brother, somebody else, Chad. We all got our flights and everything. Yeah, Chad was checking out. He's like, I'm going to go to Southwest. I'm going to rent a car and it's going to be cheaper because I don't have to pay for bags. I was like, dude, my trip is $370 round trip. What's your round trip to Southwest? $510, $515. I said, okay, so add $140 in for bags.
Right.
You're paying the same thing, if not $50 more, and then you don't have to rent a car. You can take an Uber for $20.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you're saving money right away.
Right.
I mean, so it's actually not bad right now, all that stuff.
Max, we are not around PA. Anthony is just a freaking weirdo.
We're in Albany, New York. I'm not a weirdo. I'll tell you the story quick. My brother was watching two teams play football one time. I asked him which team he was rooting for. He said the black team. The Steelers were home. They had their black uniforms on, and there we go. Steelers fan.
I'm also an idiot because my team is nowhere near New York State. I'm a Dolphins fan, so at least you border New York State, I guess.
Yeah, I'm close. 7 hours. We're 7 hours away.
But tell us about this Dutchman tournament, and we'll hear all about it.
The Dutchman, I've heard of the Dutchman. I've heard of it. think it's in Pennsylvania.
Well, no kidding. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I don't remember. I think it's kind of like a team double
Pennsylvania
singles.
Dutchman. Yeah. Anyway,
I had no idea.
Funny enough,
Nittany
our town's high school's mascot
way too far
are the Dutchmen.
Yeah, great.
This is a Dutch settlement here.
So, Kyle, we are. I don't know. I got a phone this week, so let's see.
You said something about rule changes. What rule changes were you referring to?
The divisions.
Oh, that's right. That started this year, right?
No, I believe it started last year, didn't it?
No, I think all of the new.
No, it started last year because we had a problem. We had teams that were supposed to be in standard, but once they changed the rule, they were regular.
So.
That was their average.
That was their average verification thing.
Yeah,
the numbers are changing for this year.
Okay,
for the averages to make up the divisions.
So it is a possibility that people who maybe had 2 years in wanted to get that third year because now
they have an established average, right?
It's going to count now, right? So maybe that's another thing too. I think the divisions are the divisions, but I mean it's a possibility that somebody feels like they have a chance because they're getting a little bit of a different division or number or whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
So that could have maybe changed people's minds. I don't know. It's just it's a thought.
How many people do you think, other than like the captains and then the people that are really eagle chasing, actually paying attention to those?
I do think
divisions?
a lot more people pay attention than you think.
Okay. Awesome.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I don't. Well, in these large groups where we're in charge of team building, we're the ones telling them, okay, we're going to put you with these guys because it's going to get your average under the cap.
Yeah, I mean, I get that.
But the majority of our players, at least, we have 50 people that go. They're not paying attention. There's a couple teams that are paying attention.
I think they trust us enough to put the people in correct spots.
That's fair.
Maybe if you're going with a large group and maybe you don't have direct contact with the guy, you're really trying to formulate teams and look at averages. For us, because we take 50, but we basically bowl with everybody, and we know everybody pretty well, and we know their averages. We know that they trust us to put people in the right spots. Well, maybe other people don't have that opportunity.
Yeah, 100%.
Like people be like, "Hey, I cashed this year." I'm like, "Yeah, you cashed." Well, did you? Yeah, but what's it say? Oh, you cashed in the standard, so you were actually in this. Oh, it's not a few guys who said that. They had no idea.
There was a couple people, Zach Phillips, that made more money than some of the other guys because they topped out in their division, especially at the Bowlers Journal.
Yeah, no, yeah, and it's good for people to do that. But yeah, like I said, I think more people do pay attention to it. It's just that we are in a situation where everybody trusts us, and they know that we're going to try and put our best foot forward for everybody. Because for us, and we want everybody to have a little bit of a chance to do something. Maybe other people don't, or they're in a bigger group, or what have you. So I think people do pay attention to it, Kyle. I don't know.
And since we're talking about Open Championships, we're already starting to get excited.
Yeah,
this is ramping up.
Last night was the first night that we really started put out Reno's team pattern last night. My urethane bag is going great. I might just bring 6 urethane balls because I don't know. They look pretty good. 6
urethane and the level.
So let's say 4 urethane, 2 level.
2 level? That ball does not need. It's not gonna. You think it's gonna lane shine up and you're gonna have to change out
I would definitely have a different layout.
Okay.
Way different layout. I want to have one pretty strong. Have one that's a little bit smoother, so I might be able to square up with it a little bit more instead of having to loop it. Because I got in trouble last night where I had to loop it a little bit. There was a little bit too much oil in the middle, and when I got to the left, it sparked. So I did throw 4 in a row when you left on the right lane.
Nice,
but I had to move right and do some other stuff here. Yes, the Dutchman, I was correct. Teams, double, singles. I have seen that there is a big prize fund, a lot of side action, giveaways, and sponsors. 5 or 6 in a row, strikes in a row gets you a stick.
Okay, a bologna, a stick of bologna. That's awesome.
That's interesting. I think that's pretty cool. We'll have to see where it is. I mean,
it's in Pennsylvania. I just don't know what city.
Okay, we'll
look it up.
I'm pretty sure I saw it last year. I just we didn't do it. I saw a flyer for it. We just didn't do it.
Yeah. All right. So since we are talking about practice, we talked about practice last night. We're already starting our weekly practices for nationals in Baton Rouge. But before that, we're going to be bowling in a lot of stuff. This month is the doubles here, the Baker's doubles here at TNC. Next month, we've got Super Bowl Sunday. Then the following Sunday is Super Bowl doubles. Doubles galore this month.
Yeah, we've got doubles, Baker's doubles here. Well, you guys have. Then we go doubles at Uncle Sam's, Baker's doubles at Uncle Sam's, then regular doubles at Kingpin.
Mm-hmm.
One of those days on Super Bowl Sunday. The weekend after is the
Troy is
Brockmire.
Super Bowl Sunday.
The week after is the Brockmire
And Tournament Club.
and Tournament Club. But the Brockmire's on Saturday, Tournament Club's on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And then the week after that is, I think, the first week in April.
I can't believe we're talking about April already. It's the middle of January.
February, April. Yeah, I'm trying to do my months. Like same. Then we've got. Then we got March. I skipped
March 1st. March 1st, and then so we got
March 1st. We have the Masters at Rippix.
Oh, right.
The second is the Invitational. The next week after that is Bud Bowl. The fourth week after that is a regional in Binghamton. The week after that is the Masters, the National Masters in Detroit. The weekend after that is the first week of April, I think, which I think is like a week off. And then we have there's a singles and Fishkill, and then 2 weeks after that, the week after Easter, is going to be the Players Championship
Inaugural event.
And then after that, May is the Kingpin, South Glens Falls Kingpin Regional is in May.
Right.
And
not on the list yet, but that's the rumor.
And then I believe it's up for registration though. And then in June is our Baton Rouge experience.
Devin, you can contact Anthony for Baker's doubles reservations.
Me do.
So what are you doing? What are you doing to get ready for this tournament season? Are you drilling stuff? Of course you're drilling stuff.
Move to your left. Move to your left.
Why? Oh, right.
Farther.
Hang on.
Farther. There it is. Oh, mic's in the way. Your mic's in the way. First weekend of May is the regional up at Glens Falls.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, Tyler. Drexel doubles in April.
Oh, yeah. Drexel doubles. That's what I was forgetting. Thanks, Tyler. Good thing I have you guys. Yeah, so Doug says first weekend in May is for the regional, which is exciting because it'll be before Nationals, which is awesome. So I can get more practice in. And then we have the Drexel doubles. I think that's the first or second weekend in April. And then there's a PWBA regional March 16th. Holy moly. Now, I do not qualify for that.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure, Kyle.
I don't know. You should read the rules.
Okay, well, I'm not going to read the rules because I don't care. My wife does. What does she do?
Women's tournaments?
Yeah, she's allowed to bowl that.
Yeah.
She's. My brain is done.
She qualifies.
Allowed to bowl. Yeah, she qualifies to bowl. So we have a ton of tournaments coming up. It's going to be a wild next few months. So you're asking me what I'm drilling.
What are you doing right now? Are you drilling? Are you practicing? You do everything.
Practice.
You league bowl, you practice,
It's tough to
you
league
drill.
bowl. It's
You
tough.
drill. You drill more than I don't know if you drill more than Matt Fizzone.
I don't drill more than a lot of people.
Yeah, but you've drilled 3 red balls this week.
No, I haven't.
Don't lie.
3 red balls.
Well, first of all, you plugged them and then redid them.
No, I only did 1.
And then you
That was
drilled
last week.
a new week one.
No, that one's on the bench right there.
Yeah, these are 2 that you drilled this week, and then you plugged.
No,
and
I didn't
redid
drill
the
red
other
ones. I haven't drilled a fresh
You're
one yet.
so lying.
I had 3 red balls. I had the 4.5-inch pin one, the 3.5-inch pin one, and then the 4-inch pin one. Okay, the 4.5 is and I drilled that before Nationals last year. The 3.5 was before I went in June, and the 4-inch pin was before the regional up at KPA. And so the 4-inch pin one, the one in my ring finger or right around it, rolls the best. So we decided to drill another one weaker, and then we drill the level.
And then, that's right, the level. And then
that drilling was not good for that ball for red ball. Red ball, no like pin high. Red ball, like pin low.
Drill a new Zenu too?
No.
A fresh Zenu?
No, that's in my basement in a box.
Oh, you're waiting to drill it.
I don't need it just yet. I have decided that that's my life is going to be urethane only.
Especially where these lane patterns are going. They're not going.
They're not favoring.
They're not going in the lower volume direction. That is for sure, because the new what was it, Chameleon? No,
It's like 37 mils
is
or
that
something.
the one that's 36 mils?
Yeah, no, Cheetah's
40 feet
36
or something.
Cheetah's like 36 or 37.
It's just like we were talking about this last week, and we're like, is there any or how long do we think? Sorry to get off what we were talking about, but how long do we think before the pattern milliliters are going to hit 40? At least on the
40.
PBA. No, I don't mean like the silly tournaments.
People already hit 40
on a regular basis. Well, my original question was on the PBA. When is it going to be 40 on the PBA?
I don't know. Who knows? But back to what I'm prepping for.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm drilling a weaker red ball. IQ red 78. That one's going to be pinned down. The core is too strong for a pin-up layout typically. So if the zone kills it with a pin down one, my pin-up ones have been The newest one we've been doing, which is pin in the ring finger, the one I fixed, has been really good. Kyle even said that yesterday. He's like, man, that ball is rolling really good, much better. So we're just going to drill a weaker one just for kicks and giggles, just to see if we can add to the stable. Now, my new thing is for Baton Rouge, I've been thinking about my arsenal for the whole January, and I will be drilling balls, but it's going to be like IQ 78, IQ 78, IQ 78, ZU, level. So
might bring a pro ball, maybe.
Yeah, it's not really needed on the left. But yeah, we are experimenting with some of the urathanins right now.
Urathanos.
The only problem is when I go to the Masters in Detroit, that ball is probably going to be dead. All urethane will probably be dead because they do that weird gimmicky, whatever the heck it is, oil right down like 5.
I was gonna say, maybe they'll change it, but no, they're just gonna make it worse.
No, they'll definitely not. They definitely won't change it, which is okay because I did bowl pretty well last time they did that, especially in this building. So at least I have a little bit of an idea. I have thought about what I'd like to drill. So I do have some plans, especially with so many events coming up. I'd like to get some. I don't even want to say fresh covers. I don't really bowl that much, but maybe some stuff that if it is, something that's going to fill something specific. But I do plan on throwing majority urethane for most of the patterns if I can get away with it. Yep. That's kind of a thing. Practice-wise, I'm just going to try to practice and learn these urethane balls right now.
Learn them. That's all you've been using is urethane for the last, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, but we've got some options now. Like the level is a new additive to it. It's a new thing where we can get out of it, hook a little bit more. The red ball in the Zen U, we watched it yesterday, completely different. Red ball is a little bit straighter, a little bit more forward off the back of the pattern, while the Zen U, I can get a few boards right and curve it pretty well. And then we got to see where the pitch black comes into there. So for me, I am drilling, balls that I think are going to be used upon for a lot of these events. I am going to get those balls ready. I'm going to learn those balls in practice. Typically, they're going to be on sport shots for me. So I am going to practice with those on reaction shapes. I change each game to a different ball to see exactly what it's going to do different, or shot to shot if I have to. That way I can really make an estimated guess on which urethane's coming with me, which part of the stable is coming with me.
Just bring 3 urethane bags. Done.
Yeah, no, I asked Matt yesterday, I said, you think I could bowl the whole year with like 6 urethanes and 2 levels and a plastic ball?
It's possible.
I really think it is possible.
The only reason it wouldn't be is if
it's on super long or something like that.
Super long, or like we've been talking about, lower volume, but you're able to, I think you tend to be able to still on lower volumes use urethane at least a little bit. I don't know if it'll work as well, but like for example, when we bowled on the the McEwen, how many volume? No, I think that was 27. Never mind.
41 feet, 20. Yeah. So I still use
27. Yeah, it just didn't look. Well, that one wasn't a weaker one, but it still just didn't look that great.
No, it was the weaker one. It was the red ball.
The one that you used last night?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. My bad.
That one's been actually pretty good on almost everything I've thrown so far. A little bit better.
Don says the new PVA patterns might be non-urethane.
I did see that they're using a lot of oil, so I'm assuming they're trying to knock it out. But I think more oil is actually a detriment.
Go to urethane is when I can't slow the ball down. You know what I mean?
I don't think that I think more oil actually slows the ball down, especially if you're going to use 40 feet or 36 feet. Doesn't really matter what you're going to do because there's still friction on the back ends. I can, but I won't bowl great. Meh, who cares? I mean, that's typically all I use
when
anyways.
You bowl bad?
I don't think I'll really bowl bad. The left side is completely different than the right, so I don't think it's really out of the realm that I could literally go everywhere.
I 100% agree. 100% agree.
I mean, I always bring resin,
there's
but like
such little friction on your side of the lane that it's so easy to just use urethane.
Yeah, no, it basically, because I was talking to a few guys and think it was Andrew Hall, and he's got the new lane beds, and he's like, dude, now I know why you throw urethane on everything. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, well, our lanes are new. And he said everything he bowls on, like the resin stuff is so clean and whippy. And then he said that he literally just tries to throw urethane on every pattern on his lane surface because there's no wear and tear.
Yeah.
So he's like, urethane looks good on almost everything because it slows down earlier.
Right.
Yeah, Don, Andrew's been talking to me about them at his center. He said that urethane seems to be the look on almost about everything, but that was like a few weeks ago. So,
but for the righties, especially when he's out at all of these other houses that have thousands of games on the lanes, it might start out okay, but the righties all tend to jump way left immediately on these PBA patterns.
I don't know. I just don't think that. I don't think that more oil is the answer to can't kill urethane. I don't really think it's the answer, especially if there's still friction in the back end part of the lane. All you got to use is 360 and keep it slow.
180.
Yeah,
80.
I use 60, 80. I don't know. We'll see what they do this year on the tour. I think it's a little silly, but so that's what I've been doing. I've been practicing a little bit, thinking about what I'm going to drill for each event and kind of do it in blocks or waves. If you don't have that option, obviously, you need to go to your pro shop guy and I would tell them what you're bowling and what you're typically bowling on, so that way you guys can create a game plan on what balls you should drill. That's going to be usable on a lot of stuff, so you can fill some gaps or just put some fresher covers in there. For me, I don't know what I'm going to do for nationals, or not nationals, but the Masters. Don't know if I'm going to drill a bunch of new resins before it, or if I'm, because I really don't think that they're going to have urethane to play.
Yeah.
But what are you doing, Kyle? I mean, what are you doing for tournaments? What do you expect to drill?
Well, I am actually very content with my bag right now.
Wow. First time ever.
I don't know what to tell you, but it's a combination of things. One, we got my pitches and my thumb and fingers all good, so I'm actually throwing the ball a lot better than I was in the last couple of years. So that could also be why I'm have more confidence in the balls that I have. So at this point, I will replace what needs replacement. Balls that are soaked up or worn out or whatever.
Which ones would those be?
Probably the ones I use in league every week, the Exponent Pearl, Lightning Blackout. But all of the other stuff I don't use that much.
Joe's right. Your two-handed bag or your one-handed bag?
I haven't gotten there yet. I got a long way to go. So yeah, drilling wise, not going to be a lot. Like, it's just going to be maybe a piece here or there that needs to replace something that's worn out. I use the Summit Ascent a lot when I'm in tournaments, so that might have to go sooner rather than later. But that's what I'm at for drilling. As far as practicing, now we were already practicing here and there in the first half of the season, but now it's going to be every week. And I'm also going to get some afternoons and whatever to get my practice and my regimen.
It's great to see you back here when I show up to work every day.
But what we need to do is, when we are practicing, in my opinion, we gotta, I don't want to say flood the lanes, but when we're going to be bowling team, we're going to be bowling on literally brand new lane surface. We don't know what the pattern is.
Nationals.
Yes. So that's kind of what we practice for essentially, is Wednesday nights we try to bowl as a team, break the lanes down, whatever. But yeah, like when we're practicing on nationals patterns, or when we practice, as a nationals group, in my opinion, we got to be practicing on something that's going to get the ball to be skating a lot, because the last time we bowled in a convention center, which was 2018 in Syracuse, there was a lot of skid flip, a lot of skid, because of how fresh the lanes were. It was also a low ratio pattern, so there's a lot more oil to the outside than in some of the other patterns. But
yeah, I think that's a good idea. I mean, especially brand new lane surface, which is a plus for my urethane bag. I think we might just bring 6 urethanes to nationals. But we do have a few events coming up pretty soon. I don't think anybody has. We do have Don. I think it's Don Johnson up at Kingpin for the doubles. That's going to be 40 feet. Well, we're talking tournament here, so let's talk to the people about what kind of balls would you use on a PBA pattern. It's probably got about, I think it's got about 30 mils. I think it's about 40.
Where are we talking again?
Kingpin.
I mean, anytime.
What are you going to use?
Anytime I'm up there, I know Doug's watching.
You've been bowling good up there.
Well, I did not bowl good last tournament. Not good at all.
You didn't?
I did not. I shot like 200 games. Yeah.
All right.
It didn't go well. But
wait, but that was because, you had a great time the night before. It was New Year's Eve.
It's a partial.
Okay.
Additive.
Okay.
Whatever you want to call
Okay.
it. But anytime I'm up there.
Did your hand fit in the ball when you got there?
Yeah.
No, it didn't. Because you said you got anything to me, I got to get my thumb in here.
What? No, I had powder. I always use powder. I put powder on, I stuff it in, and then it gets in there, and then I'm good to go for the rest of the day. That's why this new thumb is really good. I don't always promote coning a thumb hole.
It's not really coned. You just bevel the top a little.
Well, it's not beveled. It's got a little angle at the top, and it allows me to get the freaking thumb in there and then come out. So it works really well. But anytime I go up to Glens Falls, I'm expecting that I cannot play right for very long. 40 feet, I generally start around 10, but the track is very beat up there. So I tend to start to move in a little quicker. And then I'm kind of not sure what ball to be using, because as soon as I start moving in, if I have an ASIM ball, it rolls out. But the Summit Ascent is actually pretty nice because it's symmetrical. It gets down the lane, but it also picks up at the end and still continues. So ball works pretty good.
It's pretty clean and continuous. It's not angular. It's a little longer than some of the other duller balls, but smoother, or blends out the pattern a little bit better. Gets you through the mid lane traction,
right,
and doesn't overreact off the friction.
Right. I'd like to be able to use urethane, but anytime I'm up there with urethane, it never picks up, or it just picks up and goes forward. I can't get it to work.
I can't wait for this next one.
But how many righties have you seen up there?
I don't care about the righties.
Urethane?
I don't care about the righties. The righties, I don't know. You guys using the wrong side of your brains. All right, lefties are using the right
wrong side of our bodies.
Yeah, I can't wait. I got a whole new stable of urethane balls to throw up there to get straight. The red ball is going to come out, and I think I'm going to absolutely whack them. I mean, that is a flatter pattern, so that's one we do prepare for. So if you're going to drill anything, we do have one more exponent pearl in here. You are welcome that I kept that one here for a little bit. I'll give you another.
That's a lot of games too, right? So we could be going through a lot of bowling
I think
balls.
it's 5 games.
Is that it?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
I don't really
5 or 6, maybe.
I don't really.
Either way,
usually I show up and then somebody tells me what we're doing, unless I remember.
Fair.
Like Bud Bowl, I can't remember how many. I think it's 4. That's our one.
4 game blocks. Yeah.
So like for Uncle Sam's, I think he's going longer this year because it was shorter last year.
That's
so I think he's going back
Super
to
Bowl
longer.
Doubles.
The one that Nick and Kyle
champions.
Only day of the year they're good. So we'll go to that. That one is usually pretty flat as well. We don't have a pattern for that, but Doug's is Don Johnson or Don whatever it is, 40 feet, 30 mils maybe. Then the Brockmeyer is going to be on Arsenic. I think that's after that. Arsenic
looks a little tough.
That's an I down lane. It's got 2-2s down lane. So if you've never seen one, it doesn't
even oil 2-2 on until 17 feet or something.
Yeah, but then at like 30 feet, it also widens back out. Right. So
listen, Matt. All right. Nick and I still bowled good last year. We bowled decent. Just because we didn't win our 4th year in a row, doesn't mean we bowled bad. In fact, that's the only day that we bowl good together. There'll be tournaments that I'm bowling good and Nick's struggling a little bit, and then there'll be tournaments exactly the opposite. He'll be bowling good and I'll be struggling. But for some reason, when we go to Troy, we actually meld and actually bowl well together as a team.
Yeah, because you guys are, I don't know what it is, but Arsenic is on the Brockmeyer. I guess I'm on the wood lanes, and it's incredibly hard. That's what they tell me. I've been up there once. I think I was like 22. I don't remember much about it. But it does look like that's a really hard pattern. It looks like the left is going to be good with wood lanes, and they got an eye down lane. It might be a urethane city. I mean, I might have to go to that one on Saturday because it looks.
When's the last time you used urethane on wood?
That day.
If ever.
I don't know. I'm going to give it a shot maybe if I go up. I don't know. I mean, basically on that type of a pattern, because it is so hard, I would be throwing like an Ion Max or Sublime Focus, some phase 2, some stronger balls.
Strong to keep it in play.
Yeah, kind of get it to go forward down lane, that would be nice. Or like an Idol, like some of my older stuff I drilled for Nationals last year, Reality or the Idol with longer pins on them, so they're a little bit more controllable. Something like that, because those balls seem to just roll for me. We've got that. I don't know if you can use urethane up there on wood. I don't know. I've never done it, but why not try? I mean,
hey, that's where urethane was born.
Level's pretty good too. I mean, if there's a lot of friction, I'll hook a little earlier. I might be able to get closer to the gutter and just kind of do my thing. Left hand good.
I guess this is the one ball that I would want to add is something that. So I have a reality, and
good ball.
It's good, but it's not as strong and rolly as I was hoping it would be, and I don't think we drilled it very well. We drilled it probably strong, but not super strong like to roll up and just stay there.
Well, I don't think we did that because at the time you're using your quantum still, I think. A little bit here and there.
Forgot about that ball. That ball was very smooth.
Yeah, so we never drilled. I think we drilled the reality more to kind of come off the spot a little bit more, which is why you can't use it as often, because it comes offline a little bit more than you'd probably like. And for me, that ball is not really like forward. It is really smooth, but it's not really super forward.
Right.
It keeps my angles in front of me, but I think it's just because of the layout. So for you, it's probably pretty continuous down lane.
It's continuous down lane. It is continuous down lane, but it's also somewhat clean. Like I have to I really have to hit it in order to get it to roll. But then I have the reality check, which is a 2-inch, but it's a hybrid. But it keeps me straight down the lane.
Yeah.
For a little while, because if I miss, it kind of just rolls up and sits there, and if I miss right, it picks up and rolls and sits there.
Yeah.
So it works really good when it's a short pin. But I don't have, like I said, I don't have that big solid ASIM to maybe
go forward.
That I could maybe switch to the reality from, or if the reality is too weak and the reality check's not reading right, maybe that big ASIM that needs to slow it down.
Yeah, well, that's
if
also
I don't switch to
pin.
urethane.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna drill anything, that'd be probably the one you're looking for, is like a longer pin, keep it in front of you. You know, on the harder patterns, typically you use a longer pin to positive access point. Some people do to keep the ball on line a little bit longer. For me, usually if I go with a 5-inch pin, the ball's really forward down lane because it controls the mid lane a little bit better because it's trying to spin up, so it kind of doesn't really come offline quick. It's still trying to hit the access point. That's how I see it. So the 5-inch pin isn't terrible. It controls the mid lane a little better, and it'll keep you forward. But the other thing is, Kyle, we drilled them a little bit shorter pin because, you're so forward.
Yeah.
Your tilt is like almost,
it's 10 degrees.
It's not a lot. So you still have to retain it, or else it's going to hit like a bag of rocks. Or I should say a bag of wet socks.
I would prefer a bag of rocks.
Yeah. That's the other thing there. For that rock, I haven't been there in a few years, but Arsenic looks pretty tough. I'd probably be using
like 1.7 or something.
Yeah, I'd be using my Nationals Arsenal. Optimum Idol with a 5-inch pin. Maybe my Summit Peak with a 5-inch pin. Also, my Reality would make it in there. The shorter pin stuff where I need a little bit more hook, I don't think I would be trying to hook it more. I think I would try to keep it more online. And that's in February. So then you go to the 1st of March, which will be the New York State Masters, which I don't think we haven't signed up for that yet.
Oh, shoot.
We might be able to. That's going to be at Ripix Lanes in Binghamton. That's usually a hidden pattern. I had success.
Does it get announced or no?
No.
Okay.
I had success out in Buffalo that one time when they used like 32 milliliters. I think I qualified like second on the squad. And then I lost to Mike Rose like 520 for 520 for 2 to like 380. You remember I got smoked?
I don't remember.
Got absolutely destroyed. He's kind of good. But we went up there. I haven't really had much success there. We bowled at that place, the Dungeon in Long Island, whatever that place was. Howell Lanes, was it?
Oh, down on Long Island.
Was that Howell Lanes?
Where what's his face is the pro shop.
Yeah, Rotogrip guy.
Tommy Duluth's.
Yeah, so we saw him. Didn't bowl good there, and then we went to, what was it, Broadway last year? We bowled in Broadway.
Mm-hmm. I bowled like absolute poop garbage.
Tommy, yep, Deluxe, yeah, okay. Nick Messino knows, he knows. I think we bowled there. I didn't bowl well last year either. I think I don't know, I just didn't bowl well.
I haven't made the cut for the Masters since Latham.
You mean East Greenbush?
Is that where it was? East Greenbush?
Yeah.
They're the same bowling alley. I had to pick one.
Not really. They're in different locations.
They're in different cities, but they are the exact same building.
That one's usually pretty all right. That it's not overly flat, but you still have to score pretty well because there's a lot of good guys in the New York.
Yeah.
So a lot of good scores come out of that tournament. Brandon Boyer was our champion last year, and then we do the Invitational at Town and Country the next day.
Is Brandon going to the Masters? You got
yes,
paid entry, right?
Yeah, he is going. So the next day after that, March 2nd, is going to be our Invitational. In-league invitational. we'll be running that. I don't know if Kyle will be bowling. I don't think you bowl that
I
one.
never usually make it.
You try to make it, but we'll be bowling that one. So that's on a house shot. So, nothing tricky there. You can bring your normal stuff. It's a 64-man bracket.
Could be bowling a lot of freaking games
You could do that. So then we've got that the next day after. And then the week after that, I believe, is the Bud Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Which we're going to have to sign up for.
8th and 9th.
We do have a hotel room this year across the street from the bowling alley. That is 4 games, 8 people on a pair, 3 hours to bowl 4 games. It's absolutely a hoot and a holler.
There's a lot of, Kyle, we're down here.
There's not a lot of Kyle. We're down here. I would tell them what there really is, but we're not going to get into that story today. But that one is a tough one. They oil once. You don't know the pattern. It is pretty flat.
And it hooks.
It's flat.
And it hooks.
Kyle, we have his mix and his axe ready for that tournament.
Yes!
That tournament is typically, I don't really even know. It's kind of a crapshoot of what to use, I think.
100%.
I've only been twice.
Me too.
And I made the cut once, and I used the purple hammer on the double burn and the fresh.
Which are the same exact thing for you.
For the left-handed. My favorite is, listen, Matt's on the chat, so everybody who knows Matt, he talks about how much the left side transitions and does that stuff. Deke, you and I, we are very similar in that stance. But
Deke got he got screwed last year. Yeah.
So Matt Fazzone, if everybody knows Matt because he is in the chat, he says there's transition on the left. I'm here to tell you there isn't.
I watched you bowl in the same exact spot for 3 shifts or 2 shifts, whatever.
2 shifts. I bowled. Yeah. I think it was the double burn or the burn, one of the 2, and then I bowled the fresh the next day and stood in the exact same spot with the exact same ball, the exact same surface, and proceeded to whack him for 3 games and had the exact same thing happen to me last game where I shot 140 and still made the cut.
Yeah, but I went
240, 240, 240, 140. I ripped the shirt in the process.
Anthony's like, I'm getting a double buy here. I'm not gonna have to bowl till 6 o'clock at night.
You can't get a buy on the last shift. You can't get anything. You can only make it. Yeah, you didn't know that?
Oh wait, you're talking about Sunday morning. The survivor shift or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't get anything. But we have to bowl that, and that's kind of a crapshoot what to bring. Typically, what I would bring is I'll probably bring something that's super rolly. I'll bring a lot of urethane or balls that control the lane, especially on the left side of the lane. Kyle, we'll turn it over to you for the right side forecast.
Right side forecast. Ladies and gentlemen, what you're going to see is a lot of friction. The ball is going to hit the lane and go left. If you move left, the ball is going to hit the lane and go dead right. That's your forecast for Bud Bowl.
Okay, Kyle. So that one is extremely hard as well. They get like 7,000 entries, I guess, or 9. I don't know what it really is. I think first place is 5,000 for like a $60 entry. Brackets are plentiful. And they do run all week. They cancel all their leagues, and they do have a shootout on the 1st and the 2nd, I believe. Their Bud Light shootout, which is like a mini tournament in the tournament. You are welcome, Matt Fazzone. I will always help out my fellow partner and left-hander. So we go up there and bowl that tournament. We do have a crew going this year. Me, Kyle, Jake Bissonette, Joey D. And then we have our other crew of other friends, which is Matt Fazzone, Connor, Taylor, Tori, Natasha, Bill. I'm missing anybody.
Daddy
Brian. Yeah, Brian. Yeah. So I know Brian goes. He usually makes the first squad. I didn't see him out there last year, I don't think, until the finals.
Right. That's what I was saying. It's like, I don't think Brian
or he
went.
bowled when we did
bowl.
Bowl.
And yeah, he like made the finals either Friday night or
made the cut
either Friday night or the week before, and then came out Sunday morning.
A lot of our guys go do that. So that is another extremely hard tournament. If you're looking for something that's extremely hard and I would say almost impossible. If you're plus 10, you're on the cut or you're in.
Yeah.
Like every shift. Like plus is, and there's instant cash. Usually about -10 to even is instant cash. +10 to +20 is usually like a guaranteed in every year.
Yeah, and the thing is too, is like it's already hard, but then you have the added difficulty of
drinking.
There's that. That's definitely a factor. And then there's bowling for an hour a game.
Oh, it's right? brutal. So I can't remember where I'm standing.
So the time between shots, because it's four guys a lane.
If you remember, I think I wrote notes in my phone on where I was standing.
I don't remember.
Yeah, we were bowling. I think was
a good idea.
We were bowling the double burn, and we started on the end pair, right? Like 23 or 27, 28, 23.
Yeah.
20. I was writing notes after every shot to remember, and then I would refresh myself on where I was standing because it took us so long to get to our shot.
I
do remember that. That's another extremely hard one. Now, drilling balls for that one, I would say probably a 2-inch pin ball is going to be fantastic. You probably want to pin down pearl ball. You probably want to try a few urethanes. I would think that a level will be pretty good too for that because it's more of a controllable ball. You really want
it's control. It is clean control. Like I was watching it last night, and like Joey D the third throws it 120 miles an hour, but once the lanes broke down a little bit, it was beautiful.
Yeah. Mine was a little clean on the left lane. The right lane was hooking a little bit more, so it did kind of spark off the middle lane. So we'll see. We'll have to drill another level just for the because
there we go.
We are going to be drilling a few balls, but that is another tournament that's extremely hard with a great prize fund.
Yeah, good prize. 5,500 for the
pay in
for the
or
winner.
buy in to pay out is usually pretty good.
What's it, $85 or something, or
$60
$60?
squad.
Yeah, that's crazy. Crazy cheap.
So, and then I'm trying to think of what else that there is out there to do. I know there's really nothing else to do but bowl, I guess, out there. I mean, just bowl.
Very little.
Yeah. So
we drove into town. We got
went to Wendy's.
I mean, there's just like not a whole lot in Oswego.
I jumped the fence to go to Popeyes while Kyle was bowling. The only thing is, my recommendation for that is I typically will only try to bowl one squad a day.
Yeah, good luck.
Because the amount of frustration.
Me and Joey are getting there in the morning, bright and early, baby.
Well, you guys I'll sit in the back seat again and take a nap.
That's fine.
Maybe I'll bowl the middle. Oh, no, I would bowl the first shift and the last shift.
Fresh and double.
Somebody's going to take their shirt off out there. So after that, we go into middle of March. I'm going to the Detroit Masters, the National Masters. That's going to be a drill fest. I'll probably drill a bunch of balls in March just to kind of prepare, or I will bring a bunch of blanks out with me this year. I learned from last time. I'm just going to bring my own. That way they can't tell me no.
Mm-hmm.
I'll bring it. I've already started to think about
blanks.
I believe I just got to bring it up, and I've got to pay for it. But
pay for the drilling, yeah.
But yeah,
100%.
Regardless, I think they can't really tell me no, can they?
I don't know.
Like if I just brought a ball, how would they know it's from there? Hey, I brought a blank. Can you drill it? It's their job, right?
I suppose.
They get paid for it. So I'm thinking about drill. I'll drill a few and I'll bring some blanks out. I don't think that'll be a urethane fest. That one will be hard. There's nothing really to talk about with the Masters. It's a week long, basically. It's televised.
3 squads.
Pretty intense. Really intense.
Yeah.
Just kidding. And that's the last of March, and then we get into April where we've got the Drexel doubles. Don't know the pattern this year. Tyler will pick it. He'll probably pick like canned tuna fish or something like that, wherever he can find.
What?
He finds some weird wacky
did
names.
you do the MSBS one last year?
Yeah, Skittles and whatever. Yeah. So he'll probably find something that's pretty close. We'll get that out there. That's doubles. It is a memorial event. We do donate money back to the John Drexel scholarship. It goes to a bowler. So I think we've given away a bunch. I think we gave away 3 scholarships last year alone of $500 a piece. So
nice.
Yeah, so the bowlers do help out with that one. That is another one. And that's April, and then we get into there's a fish kill tournament, an 8-game sweeper. That's kind of far away for me.
Fish kill's like 2 hours. It's like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
It's a little far away in March. Or in April.
Yeah, but we do have the Players Tour.
Yeah, Matt wrote the Players Tour, ... We're not there on the schedule yet, Matt.
Yeah, settle down.
The last week of April, we will be having our first inaugural Players Tour. We don't really have all the details finalized yet. We've got a few other things we're going to try and do before we get there. We hopefully would have it out by the end of this month.
Yeah, we got to finalize the rules, playing rules.
Entry fee.
Get the entry form all settled out.
Dress code for Kyle. Leaving sweatpants in. But yeah, so we'll be doing that, and that will kind of conclude the year until Doug's Regional is in May.
That's right.
First week of May, so the week after.
Yeah, a lot of bowling.
Week after, and then we have 3 weeks of preparation and maybe
OCs.
2 weeks for OCs. So we will be practicing. We'll be practicing. We'll be drilling some balls. If anybody has any questions, you just let us know. Or if you're looking for any of these tournaments around here, we do have a lot of stuff. Oh, look, thinking Chunk Light Bumblebee. So that's what we've got going. Sorry to ramble, Kyle.
That's
but,
all right.
That's what we're talking about. What should they be doing? You should be getting a little bit of practice in. I recommend if you don't get a lot of time, just do spare shooting. More often than not, spare shooting will keep you in the match. And then, obviously bowling more is going to get you sharper and more in tune with the lane and what balls to use when. So, make sure you're getting yourself out there. Also, make sure you're with your pro shop operator to get all the latest goodies or get stuff that's going to fit your bag or fit your needs the right way. So that way, you can go out there confident and ready to knock the pins over.
So Bill mentioned, I How about that 890 in Latham today?
Yeah, a kid, 16-year-old kid, shot 890. He went 8 spare, and then the next 35.
Wow. Bowling is hard.
Well, yep.
That's all you got to say about that?
I don't really have anything to say about that. I think that schools, if we're talking tournament, we have a few minutes here, but I feel like the schools, good for him. It was a great score. Knocking 35 over is not easy. He didn't have a thumb in it, so okay. Which is fine. I don't really care, but he didn't have a thumb in it. I think the schools need to adopt, I don't know if all centers are able to do it, but there should be some sort of rule here. These kids shouldn't be bowling house shots. They should be bowling like a 6-1.
Mm-hmm.
You should make it a little bit more of a competition for the kids instead of, who bowls here and who bowls where. Maybe that kid's home house is there, and then he, I think it's just,
I don't have any problem with the home house thing, but I 100% agree that there should be some sort of regulation set forward by the section or the state or whatever that says, here are the guidelines for lane maintenance for the high school.
I think that's a good idea. Will it happen? Probably not. And how did we get on this? Because 890 is a lot.
890 is a lot for any teenager. 890 is a lot for a freaking adult. And if any, I know that somebody's going to be like, well, he threw 35 in a row and you didn't. It's like, sure. But is that the state of the game that we want? Do we want a game where we have, back in my day, 300s were an achievement that's like once in a lifetime. If you were excellent, you had a few.
Yeah, but back in your day, the early 2000s, it was the highest scores ever.
No, I'm saying when you were a teenager, getting your first 300 was something. But but now it's like, I got my first 300 at 13. Now I have 5. And it's like, but do you really? Because the lane is walking the ball for you. So like you said, should high school be competing on house shots? My opinion, absolutely not.
Joe says not all schools have athletes compete on that level. Some bowl to learn and grow. Bowling in something 6-1 could be defeating.
Well, first of all, we've proven that 6-1 is not that hard. Secondly,
okay,
well, we've watched it in all of the tournaments here.
Right? There's some. It depends on who it is.
Sure. But back when Joe bowled, back when I bowled, it wasn't a learning experience in high school except for the competitive nature. The kids that were on that team were actually the best in the school, probably the best in the town or whatever, the local area. But it wasn't a learning league for kids. And I'm sorry to rag on kids here, but like that's the state of junior bowling. We talked at the top of the show, we talked about how junior or Chad Murphy's report, and in that report he says junior bowling is growing. We've got 3,100 athletes at the junior gold, but at the local level, I'm looking at our junior programs and they're not as full. Like we had 1.5 shifts when I bowled. So is junior bowling really getting better? Maybe at the national level where they're bringing 50 states together, sure. But I think at the local level, it's completely different than it used to be.
I think it's an interesting take right there by Joseph. I don't think it's a bad thing, but I don't think it's a good thing. I think there could be some pros and cons. I think a lot of the kids that are bowling for some of the schools now, they're only bowling in season. So I feel like if they can get kind of close to 200 or they're competitive within their league, there is no drive to become better.
Right.
I think that is a thing that has happened over time with the easier shots, because you can get a guy, and typically we teach them two-handed guys and they can excel really quickly. It's easier to learn how to bowl two-handed than one-handed, I think. So guys can become more aware of what's going on, but at the same time, maybe they garner more of an interest if it was a little bit more difficult, or if the scores were a little bit lower. It's a possibility, but also some guys just do it to do it. So, would they know if it's harder or not? Would it make a difference to them? Possibly not. I think we see a bunch of different levels of kids, but the other thing I see is that the better kids are opting not to bowl in high school, or it's harder for them to continue to bowl in high school because you go to the house shots and they're bowling the Tuesday night challenge league and CDYST, and they're traveling to bowl, and then they go bowl in the house shot for their team or for their high school team, and they're quitting or they're not bowling because it's not challenging them enough. So I think you're kind of stuck in a catch-22, but I think that, maybe if it was a 6-1, it wouldn't be so bad. I don't know.
It wouldn't be bad at all. And
I think some of the kids wouldn't even know, because some of the smaller schools, the kids are still learning how to throw it dead straight down the lane, and there's a little bit of hook. So maybe it would increase their desire to do better. I don't know. It's definitely maybe some kids wouldn't like it. It's an interesting thought.
What my thought was years ago was junior program is where you need to start them on the not impossible but difficult lane patterns.
That'd be difficult, but like 6-1 would be nice.
Right, just not bumpers. You know what I mean? Just not a desert to the outside. Have a couple of loads to the outside, to 2-2s. You know what I mean? So, yeah, like I'm saying, to start the kids off in that area of lane pattern is only going to improve them. They don't know what they don't know when they're a kid. So if they're starting out on a 6-1 and you're teaching them how to bowl on a 6-1, they're going to be vastly better than any other kid that's bowling on a house shot, fundamentally.
Yeah, I'm sure that they could be better, and I think it would help kids get better too. I just don't know. It'd be some kids wouldn't know, some kids would know, some kids do know and they don't really want to bowl it. So I think it is definitely interesting to see how that would progress if they did do something. Like how would everything change around? Also, I was talking to Artie Hoffman about it, and then telling about the high schools. There's only like 3 centers that the Colonial Council uses. Or like 4 centers. Did you know that?
Oh, because they're all doubled up or tripled up.
They're all doubled or tripled up.
Yeah.
He said 3
teams bowling at the same house.
So basically. He said, why aren't we just going to one house at one time?
Yeah, just do
a quad match or just a big tournament.
What we did in college, actually, which would be a good setup for kids to go into college, is your conference matches are all together. Yeah. You're not bowling head to head. You're bowling a small 3 or 4, whatever it was, game tournament.
Yeah.
As a conference match, and that's how you got your points for the season. If you came in first, I don't remember if this is exactly how it worked, but let's just say you came in first, you got 5 points. Second, 4 points. Third, 3 points.
And I agree with you, and I don't disagree. I think I thought that was just an awesome thought to it. It's like we really only have 4 houses. We all just go at one time.
Yeah.
The team,
that way many kids.
That way we actually have there are a few. Some teams have some fairly large teams.
No, what I mean is you can only bowl so many.
Yeah, I think I think that would be better, because then you actually have to have a little bit more coaching, or they have to get a little bit better instead of just taking everybody, and which you want everybody to bowl, but then you have your varsity and your JV or what have you, or whatever it is. And
I don't know how it would affect the centers. Do they like having all the schools there all of the time? No, because it is some revenue.
Of course you do.
Or would you rather have the conference matches moving around from house to house, and then you don't have to worry so much about scheduling? And
you'd be like, hey guys, leagues, we're going to start like a day or an hour late here, or whatever it is. Or hey, we're going to be here. We have to be here at 3:00. And then the other thing is you actually get time to coach.
Yeah.
Now we're getting off of tournament time, but we're into the high school bowling because of the 890. There was like maybe a week where you could coach, but you also had tryouts in the same week.
Right.
So it's very hard. It's hard to coach or get your team ready to bowl. So his thought was, hey, we do 1 match a week, or one tournament a week.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can do practice, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and bowl Friday. Or so you can actually get the kids ready. You have a little bit of time to work with the kids instead of we've got 3 matches this week, and then we've got 1 practice, and then we have 3 matches this week. I'm going to give the kids optional on Friday, instead of we're going to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, take Thursday off, bowl Friday, or Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, take Friday off, or have an optional Friday. You actually work with these kids and get them a little bit better to increase your team a little bit too. You have a little bit more time, and plus, because you wouldn't have to travel so much, you could have a week or 2 to actually develop some of the kids that get them to have a game.
Mm-hmm.
Because some kids that he has don't even have a game.
Look,
so some coaches have to actually teach the whole thing.
Right.
So you'd be able to get them more comfortable as well.
100%.
And to their own ball as well by that time as well.
Yeah,
you get a little bit of
time. You
could
each have 1 or 2 conference matches at your house.
Yeah.
Right. That'll make up your whole season. All good.
Yeah.
Point system. But I mean, it's basically I don't know if it's a win-loss or if it's a point system. I don't know how it's been so long since I even looked at it.
Head in total.
No, I know the match. I'm saying conference, you would
probably get points
Colonial
for first.
Council. Is it a point system for the standings, or is it win losses.
It's probably win-loss and tiebreaker done by points.
Right. Anyway, so we just solved high school bowling, so you're welcome.
Well, our Hoffman did.
Right. Well, right. We just we got it out there in the world.
Yeah, it was a heck of an idea.
So I don't know who's in charge of Section 2.
Bill Newman, maybe.
Well, I
know
he was on the board or something.
He schedules a lot with us.
I wasn't sure exactly what his position was.
Bill Newman.
Listen to this podcast.
Maybe you're not listening, or maybe you're not in that right position, but it is a thought process. Actually, it would make the scheduling for the centers easier. Too.
Yeah, way easier. I think anyway.
As long as you could fit everybody, because like maybe Cohoes couldn't fit everybody.
That's right. You're right. Because there's some 12 or 16 lane centers.
You could do day, boom, day. One half like sectionals, half the teams bowl Wednesday, half the teams bowl Thursday.
Could do that. It's a little tougher though when you're bowling the whole conference. It would be like, because what you're talking about is the different councils are broken up for sectionals. Although I guess they are bowling against each other, aren't they, for sectionals? I'm thinking of like suburban council.
Yeah, like Colonial Council's only got, it wouldn't matter. I mean, it wouldn't really make a difference.
Interesting.
Art Hoffman, way to solve the riddle.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for chatting with us. A lot of good comments tonight. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell to get alerts from the channel. We got a level and S25. Z25 video coming out.
I don't know when it's coming in, but Austin knows.
Yep.
Or go to Instagram, check it out on Matt's and my page.
Oh, there's a couple of short video drops that you guys can
you definitely
take a look at.
Yeah.
So check us out on Facebook, Instagram, X, and you can email us at downlanepod@gmail.com. And if you can't watch live, you can always download and listen via your favorite podcast service or go back and watch on YouTube. I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
Got it all? Okay. Thank you to Jack Scaccia, proprietor of Town and Country Lanes, for letting us be in here. Austin, great job tonight.
At least we were on, you could hear us tonight.
Yeah, that worked out good. I didn't hit the record button on the audio, but so I'll have to figure that out after. But Anthony, good show tonight. Thank you to my family, Stephanie, Zach, and Ethan.
Chambred.
Oh, big announcement before we go. I know a bunch of you logged off already, but next week, January 23rd, on the podcast, I forgot to tell everybody at the top of the show that we were going to have a big announcement, guest announcement.
We did?
Verity Crawley will be on the podcast next week. So stay tuned for that and tune in for that, because it'll be fun. Get your questions in and do our job for us so we don't have to ask so many questions.
Cool.
All right. We will see you guys next week. This is Down Lane Podcast.